Hollywood created these faces, but plastic surgery destroyed them. These were the legends of the golden age, the icons every fan adored and every studio celebrated. But when time started catching up, they didn't slow down. They fought back hard, and in trying to look young forever, they pushed their faces past the point of no return. Frozen expressions, distorted features, total transformations. These aren't just cosmetic mistakes. These are cautionary tales from Hollywood's brightest stars. Get ready, because today we're uncovering the tragic downfall of 9 golden age stars who ruined their faces with plastic surgery. A renowned plastic surgeon from Beverly Hills once described the saddest consultations of his career. Aging stars from Hollywood's golden age would walk into his office clutching glossy publicity photos from decades earlier and beg, "Make me look like this again." But it was an impossible demand. The face in the photo was gone, not just because of age, but because human skin, muscles, and expressions evolve with experience. Yet these stars, terrified of fading from relevance, chased a version of themselves that no longer existed. And the result was a long list of transformations that shocked the world. Faces frozen, distorted, shiny, immobile, and tragically unrecognizable. These aren't horror stories of vanity. They are cautionary tales of pressure, insecurity, and Hollywood's relentless demand for eternal youth. One of the first and most heartbreaking examples was Mary Pickford, the woman known worldwide as America's sweetheart. She was more than just a star. She was a pioneer who helped build the foundations of modern Hollywood and co-founded United Artists. Her soft curls, expressive eyes, and radiant warmth made audiences fall in love with the magic of movies themselves. But as she grew older, she found herself trapped by the image she had created. In the early 1930s, long before cosmetic surgery was anything close to safe or refined, Mary Pickford underwent one of Hollywood's earliest facelifts. The techniques were crude, almost barbaric. Skin was stretched tightly across her face, pulled past the point of natural movement. Her once expressive features became stiff, and the subtle emotional shifts that made her a silent film legend faded away. Rather than stepping back, she doubled down, undergoing more surgeries as the years passed. By the 1940s, her face had already begun taking on an unnatural smoothness, and by the 1960s, the damage was undeniable. Friends barely recognized her. Even Douglas Fairbanks Jr., who had known her since childhood, failed to realize who she was when they met again later in life. Her final years were spent largely out of public view, and when she accepted an honorary Academy Award in 1976, she appeared only through a heavily controlled video message. Her face, once filled with warmth and expression, had become a rigid mask, an eerie symbol of the price she paid to remain forever young. While Mary Pickford suffered silently, another icon turned her surgeries into punchlines. Joan Rivers, the legendary comedian, wasn't a golden age actress, but she bridged eras and became one of the most famous examples of extreme plastic surgery. What began as small tweaks in her 30s eventually spiraled into hundreds of procedures. She joked boldly about it, saying, "I've had so much plastic surgery. When I die, they'll donate my body to Tupperware." But humor disguised deeper pain. She feared irrelevance, feared aging, feared losing the career she had fought so hard to build. Her face over time became tight, shiny, and noticeably artificial, eventually overshadowing her pioneering achievements in comedy. Yet she continued laughing because for Joan Rivers, jokes were armor. But there was one story that went even further than all the rest, one transformation so extreme, it became a worldwide symbol of cosmetic surgery gone too far. Jocelyn Wildenstein, splashed across tabloids as the infamous Catwoman, wasn't a classic Hollywood actress, yet her evolution shocked celebrities, surgeons, and the public on a global scale. She reportedly spent millions reshaping her face in an attempt to create feline-like features to satisfy her husband's bizarre preferences. Procedure after procedure stacked upon one another, cheek implants built higher and higher, eyes pulled into a dramatic upward slant, a brow widened and reshaped, until her appearance drifted far from anything naturally human. Her transformation became the ultimate cautionary tale, a visual warning doctors still use today, when begging patients not to pursue impossible perfection or irreversible fantasy. Another figure who struggled with the pressures of eternal beauty was Zsa Zsa Gabor, the glamorous queen of old Hollywood. Famous for her 9 marriages, sparkling personality, and dazzling looks, She embraced cosmetic intervention early. Her first facelift reportedly came in the early 1950s, and by the time she entered her later years, her once vivacious face was nearly immobile. Directors found it difficult to film her in close-ups because her expressions barely moved. She tried compensating with extravagant fashion, larger jewelry, and elaborate wigs, but nothing could hide the rigidity that had overtaken her features. Her trademark charm remained, but the face behind it had changed completely. Not all surgery stories belong to aging actresses. Some involved male icons whose good looks defined their careers. Tony Curtis, the handsome star of classics like Some Like It Hot, had a face so attractive it almost seemed sculpted. But when he reached his 60s, the fear of aging led him to undergo procedures that dramatically altered his appearance. Male plastic surgery is particularly unforgiving, and his results made headlines for all the wrong reasons. His face became shiny and stretched, with a waxy mannequin-like quality. Critics said it looked as though someone attempted to recreate Tony Curtis from memory. He continued to work and create art, but the contrast between his expressive paintings and his increasingly immobile features was hard to ignore. Another tragic transformation came from Linda Evans, the beloved star of Dynasty, whose natural beauty in the 1960s and 70s was breathtaking. Her delicate facial structure would have aged gracefully, but by the 1990s and early 2000s, her features were noticeably altered by aggressive cosmetic choices. Her cheeks appeared overfilled, her lips overly enhanced, and the tightness in her skin erased the softness that once defined her look. What made her story particularly painful was the contradiction. She publicly embraced spiritual teachings and nature-centered, living while her appearance revealed a fear of aging she could not escape. But some stars suffered not from elective procedures, but from malpractice. Priscilla Presley, iconic largely for her connection to Elvis Presley, sought minor cosmetic improvements in the early 2000s. Instead, she fell victim to a fraudulent practitioner who injected her with industrial-grade silicone, the kind used in car parts. The substance hardened and caused permanent distortions, leaving her with uneven features and long-term damage. Unlike others who retreated from the spotlight, Priscilla Presley remained courageous and continued public appearances, showing resilience despite the trauma. Then there was Carol Baker, the unforgettable star of Baby Doll, a woman whose beauty didn't fit into Hollywood's cookie-cutter mold. She wasn't just another blonde bombshell. She had a look that was arrestingly unique. Her full, natural lips, her wide, expressive eyes, and that aura of sensual innocence made her stand out in a sea of glamorous faces. For a time, she was considered one of the most intriguing beauties ever to grace the screen, a woman whose features were instantly recognizable and impossible to replicate. But as the years passed, Carol Baker made a decision that would slowly erase what made her special. Instead of letting her one-of-a-kind features age naturally, she altered them piece by piece. Her famously full lips, once soft and alluring, were pulled unnaturally tight. Her expressive eyes, known for emotion and depth, became overly lifted, giving her a perpetual, surprised expression. Gradually, her once distinctive face began blending into the generic Hollywood surgery look, losing the individuality that once set her apart. Ironically, in the years that followed, younger actresses paid thousands to surgically imitate the very lips she chose to change. She had what others desperately wanted, and yet she erased it, and perhaps the saddest transformation of all belonged to Anne Margaret, the fiery, explosive performer whose energy lit up classics like Bye Bye Birdie and Viva Las Vegas. She wasn't just beautiful, she was electric, a woman who moved with a blend of power, sensuality, and charm that captivated audiences worldwide. Her face wasn't just part of her performance, it was her performance. These stories are not about vanity or superficiality. They reveal the darkest contradiction of Hollywood, an industry that glorifies youth while simultaneously worshiping nostalgia. The stars who tried to preserve their past were punished for aging, but punished again for trying to stop it. The wrinkles they feared were not flaws, they were stories, history, character. Yet Hollywood convinced them those marks of life were unacceptable. In the end, these legends teach us a truth Hollywood refuses to face. Time always wins. The tragedy wasn't their aging, it was their fear of it. Their beauty wasn't stolen by the years, but by the desperate attempt to stop them. And as their stories echo through history, they remind us to embrace authenticity. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.